Hi, everybody. We're on signpost number 5, if you can believe it. This one is called Words of the Wiser. And a lot of times I just shorten it to Words of the Wiser. I get rid of that of. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's wise words. In a lot of ways, you'll see that owl there, older and wiser. So let's go ahead and move on to this signpost. So when you're reading, and there's a character or even a narrator who's probably older and a lot wiser, not all the time, you don't have to be old to be wise, they might take the main character aside and give them some serious advice. And at that moment, you should stop and ask yourself, what's the life lesson and how might it affect the character? And whatever the lesson is, you've probably now discovered the theme of the story. And that's really important when you're reading because it's a big question that you might get a lot of times after you've read something. Because there is a point to stories, right? And the point is that you've learned something. The words of the wiser, or words of the wiser, let's say that your parent or a grandparent or an aunt or uncle ever said anything to you like, always tell the truth. You can do lots of things and be lots of things, but never lie. Always tell the truth. Well, authors are in some ways like a parent or a grandparent or someone wise, as a mentor. And they include scenes in which wise words are shared. There is a purpose to everything an author includes. So you have to pay attention to this signpost because when an author includes a scene where there's advice, it's most likely foreshadowing an event that's going to happen later in the book. Right now, I'm watching this show on Netflix called Cobra Kai, and it is a little inappropriate because there's a lot of cursing in it. But there's lots of wise advice. There's lots of times when someone pulls a character aside and tells them something, advice, and it's like, oh, I know something's going to happen later on, and I have to make a prediction, which means that I'm attuned to the text. I'm paying attention to the plot of the story. So the advice is probably a life lesson, and if you pay attention to it, you'll see an important idea that the author wants you to know. Okay, very important. So the first example, we're going to watch something called Boundin, and I'm going to go with it, go with it with you. Like I'm going to stop and pause. I'm going to scaffold that story for you so we can find the words of the wiser, and then you're going to stop and do it in the next clip, and you're going to use the Edpuzzle to help you pace so that you're not just blowing through the video. So let's watch Bounding first and see if we can stop and pause as we're watching this short little Pixar film, Boundin.
Here's a story on how strange is life with its changes, and it happened not long ago. On a high mountain plain where the sagebrush arranges a playground south of the snow, lived a lamb with a coat of remarkable sheen. It would glint in the sunlight all sparkly and clean, such a source of great pride that it caused him to preen. And he'd break out in high step and dance. He would dance for his neighbors across the way. I must say that they found his dancing enhancing, for they'd also join in the play. Then one day, a bounding up the slope came a great American jackalope. This sage of the sage, this rare hair of hope, caused to pause and check out the lamb. Hey kid, why the mope? Well, I used to be something all covered with fluff, and I'd dance in the sunlight and show off my stuff. Then they hauled me away in a manner quite rough and shared me and dumped me back here in the buff. And if that's not enough, now my friends all laugh at me because they think I look ridiculous, funny, and pink. Pink? Pink? Well, what's wrong with pink? Seems you got a pink kink in your thing. Doesn't matter what color, that gets nope. Be it pink, purple, or heliotrope. Now, sometimes you're up and sometimes you're down. When you find that you're down, well, just look around. You still got a body, good legs and fine feet. Get your head in the right place and hey, you're complete. Now, as for the...
So I just want to stop there because, as you noticed, this was the jackalope is the wiser character, right? And then you have the sheep here, and he was so proud of his fur or whatever you call it, his hair, and then he had it all cut off. And now he's so embarrassed and everyone's making fun of him. So you see the jackalope comes in and gives him some good advice. It doesn't matter what color you are. You have to show off your stuff. Be proud of yourself. It doesn't matter. And you can tell he's got a scruffy voice. He seems a little bit older, a little bit wiser. And he's saying it's not what you look like. It's what's in your mind. Okay. So now here's the natural part for you was to say, how will this character react to the words of the wiser? Is he going to give up? Is he going to go throw himself off the cliff? What's the prediction that you would make? I'm going to say, oh, you know what? He looks like his eye motions are changing his thinking. He's going to now change the way he feels about the way he looks, right? That would be a natural prediction to make. And that is what a good reading comprehension person will do because they're thinking ahead. They're thinking of the actions in the story. So let's see how the words of the wiser given by the jackalope will impact this character.
Now, as for the dancing, you can do more. You can reach great heights. In fact, you can soar. You just get a leg up and you slap it on down, and you'll find you're up in what's called the bound, bound and rebound, bound, and you're up right next to the sky. And I think you can do it if you gave it a try.
Give it a try.
First, get a leg up, slap it on down.
There's the moment right there. He's starting to understand. Look at his facial expression. Aha.
So every year, long about May, they load him up.
And now you can see he was like, go ahead, take me away. Shear it off.
All naked and bare.
Doesn't matter.
He learned to live with it. He didn't care.
He didn't care.
He just bound and rebound. Now in this world of ups and downs, so nice to know there are jackalopes around.
And you can see in that stated theme that it was repeated by the narrator. It wasn't just the jackalope who gave the advice to the other character. You can hear the narrator in the back reinforce that, okay? So you heard it many, many times, all right? So lots of different themes there, all around the same topic, which is you got to accept yourself for who you are and accept the situation, right? The situation is what it is, and it's what you make of it. So you can see in there that the older, wiser character was able to give that goat, sheep, that advice, okay? So words the wiser. The next video you're going to watch is actually Rocky, because we're in Philadelphia. How could we not do a movie clip without Rocky? And this is, so let me just give you a little bit of background. This is when Rocky is much older and his son is now grown, and his son is kind of embarrassed by Rocky. He really, because Rocky used to be great and he's kind of not as great as he used to be in the first and the second Rocky. And his son has a little chip on his shoulder. He's got he feels a little embarrassed by his father. So this is a conversation between Rocky and his son. And it's important that you understand that that's his child. Number 2, you're going to watch this Rocky in an Ed puzzle because you're going to stop and answer some questions as you're watching the video in terms of words of the wiser, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to go to that signposting chart that you've been working on, and then you're going to go ahead and fill in that chart for Rocky, this clip, in the words of the wiser part, okay? To find your anchor question, you know to look up top and then type it back down. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this video. Teacher's going to let you go and assign you Ed Puzzle Rocky, words of the wiser.